All right, today we're diving into a service that, honestly, is the secret engine behind a ton of apps you probably use every single day: Google Cloud PubSub. We're going to go from the ground up, starting with the absolute basics, and then moving all the way to some real pro tips that'll make your systems way more robust and ready to scale. So let's jump right in. Seriously, just think about it for a second. You tap a button to order a ride, right? Or maybe get some food delivered. In that split second, a whole orchestra of different services has to kick into gear. Payments, mapping, notifications, driver assignments, it's a lot. So how on earth do they all communicate instantly and reliably without ever dropping the ball, especially when thousands of people are doing the same thing at once? Well, the magic is all in how they talk to each other. And that brings us to this core concept: asynchronous communication. Instead of services talking directly to each other, like a phone call where you have to wait for someone to pick up, they leave messages for each other through a middleman. This is called decoupling, and believe me, it is a total game changer. It means one service can just fire off a message and immediately get back to its own business. It doesn't have to wait or even know if the other service is ready. This is exactly how you build systems that can handle massive scale, and it's the whole idea behind PubSub. So, to really get a handle on this, let's think of it in a different way. Let's use an analogy. Imagine PubSub is basically a digital postal service for your code. It's a super simple but really powerful way to picture how all the pieces fit together. So what is Google Cloud PubSub really? At its heart, it's what we call a fully managed messaging service. Now, fully managed is just a fancy way of saying Google handles all the messy, difficult parts for you. You know, the servers, making sure it scales up when you get busy, making sure it's reliable, all that stuff. You get to just focus on the fun part, sending and receiving messages and building cool things, while your services can talk to each other without being tangled together. Okay, let's stick with our postal service idea. The first piece of the puzzle is the topic. Think of a topic as a public mailbox with a specific address on it. Any part of your application, which we'll call a publisher, can drop a letter, a message, into this mailbox. For instance, you could have a topic named New User Signups. Anytime someone new signs up, the user service just drops a message right into that topic. Simple as that. So if a topic is the mailbox, how do you get the mail? Well, that's where a subscription comes in. A subscription is basically your personal key to that mailbox. Any service that wants to know about new signups, we'll call it a subscriber, creates its own subscription to that new user signups topic. And here's where it gets really powerful. You can have multiple subscriptions on a single topic. So the welcome email service can have one subscription, a data analytics service can have another, and they both get a copy of the same message, all working independently. Let's actually walk through the life of a single message step by step. First, our publisher sends a message to the topic. Done. Step 2, PubSub instantly makes a copy of that message and sends it to every single subscription attached to that topic. Then, a subscriber receives the message and gets to work. Maybe it updates a database or sends out an email. Now, this next part is absolutely crucial. Once the subscriber has completely finished its job, it sends back a little signal called an acknowledgement, or ACK for short. That ACK is its way of telling PubSub, hey, I'm done with this one, you can get rid of it now. This is the secret sauce for reliability, because if the subscriber crashes mid-process, it never sends the ACK, and PubSub knows to just send the message again later. No data gets lost. All right, we've got the basics down. Now we come to our first really critical decision point. When you set up a subscription, you have to decide how you want to receive your messages. And this isn't a small choice. It's going to have a really big impact on how you design and build your application. And it all boils down to one simple question. Who starts the conversation? Is it PubSub or is it your application? In a push model, PubSub takes charge. As soon as a message arrives, PubSub actively pushes it out to a public web address that you've set up. But in a pull model, your service is in the driver's seat. It has to reach out and pull messages from PubSub, basically asking, hey, you got anything new for me? So which one should you choose? Well, this table breaks it down pretty nicely. Push is all about speed and low latency. It's like having mail delivered directly to your front door the moment it's sent. It's awesome for things like real-time notifications. The catch? You don't control the delivery rate. The mail comes when it comes. Pull, on the other hand, gives you total control. It's like having a P.O. box. You go and collect your mail whenever you're ready and can handle it. This makes it perfect for heavy-duty batch processing jobs where you want to manage the workload yourself. It does mean your code is a little more complex, but that control is often worth it. Okay, so our system is designed, the messages are flowing, but we all know the real world is messy. Stuff breaks, networks get flaky, servers crash.
things just go wrong. So now let's talk about building for reality. How do we build systems that can actually survive this kind of chaos?
And this next point is probably one of the most important things to understand about PubSub. The delivery guarantee is at least once. Let me repeat that, at least once. It is not exactly once. This is PubSub's promise to you that a message will never, ever be lost. But the trade-off is that sometimes, in certain failure scenarios, you might get the same message delivered to you more than once, and you absolutely have to be ready for that. And I'm not talking about some theoretical edge case here. As this quote says, your application will receive the same message twice at some point. It's a certainty. And it's not a bug. It's a fundamental design decision that prioritizes durability, never losing a message above all else. So the big question is, what do we do about it?
The solution has a fancy name, idempotency, but the idea behind it is actually really simple. It just means designing your code so that doing the same thing twice, or 3 times, or 100 times has the exact same result as doing it just once. A super common pattern for this is to put a unique ID on every message. Then, the very first thing your subscriber does is check a database. Have I seen this ID before? If the answer is yes, it just says, okay, I'm done, sends the ACK, and moves on. No harm done. So we've handled duplicates, we're safe. But what about an even nastier problem? What happens if you get a message that is just fundamentally broken? Like there's a bug in your code or the data is malformed and it can never be processed successfully. If you're not careful, PubSub will just keep trying to deliver it over and over and over again, effectively blocking your entire subscription. This is what we call a poison pill message.
And that's where a dead letter topic, or DLT, becomes your best friend. A DLT is like a safety net. You configure your subscription and say, look, if you try to deliver a message, say 10 times, and it fails every single time, just give up. At that point, instead of trying again, PubSub automatically moves that problematic message over to a completely separate topic, the dead letter topic. This is huge because it gets the poison pill out of the way so your healthy messages can keep flowing and you can go and debug the bad ones later without any pressure.
All right, let's level up and talk about some of the more advanced capabilities. So far, we've assumed that the order of messages doesn't really matter. But what if it does? What if for your app, the sequence of events is absolutely everything? Yeah. Think about something like updating a user's account balance or tracking the status of a delivery. The order is critical. For situations just like this, PubSub offers a feature called an ordering key. It's basically just a string, a piece of text that you attach to your messages. This key is a signal to PubSub. It says, hey, for all the messages that share this exact same key, you have to promise me you'll deliver them in the precise order they were sent.
So just like you see here, if a publisher sends a batch of messages all with the ordering key A, and it sends them in the sequence 1, then 2, then 3, PubSub makes a hard guarantee. The subscriber on the other end will receive them in that exact same order, 1, 2, 3. The sequence is perfectly preserved, but only for messages within that specific key.
Now here's the really smart part. That ordering guarantee only applies within a single key. There is no ordering guarantee across different keys. So messages for key A and messages for key B can be processed at the same time, completely in parallel. This is fantastic. It gives you the best of both worlds. You get strict, in-order processing for things that need it, like updates for a single user, while still getting massive parallel throughput for all your different users combined.
Okay, to wrap things up, let's run through a quick list of pro tips. Think of these as the hard-won lessons from engineers who have built and run absolutely massive systems on top of PubSub. These will save you a lot of headaches. First up, traceability. Always log the message ID that PubSub gives you when you publish a message. When something goes wrong, it's your lifeline for debugging. Next, timeouts. The default acknowledgement deadline is only 10 seconds. If your processing takes longer than that, you need to increase it, or PubSub will think your worker crashed and will resend the message. Memory. Use flow control. This is a setting that prevents your subscriber from pulling down way more messages than it can actually handle, which can save you from running out of memory. Efficiency. Enable batching on the publisher side. This groups multiple messages into a single API call, which is way more efficient and boosts your throughput. And finally, latency. If your publisher and subscriber are in the same geographic region, use a regional PubSub endpoint. It keeps the network traffic local and makes things just a little bit faster. And all of this brings us to one final, really important question. By using a tool like PubSub, you've successfully decoupled your services, which is a massive step towards building a resilient system. But is that enough? Are they truly resilient? The reality is, PubSub is just one piece of the puzzle. Real end-to-end resilience means you also have to think deeply about idempotency, how you handle failures, and making sure your entire system is observable. It's about more than just the messaging.